Oh, you must be a happy man at the moment. You must feel like everything. You're getting all your wishes. Arsenal, obviously, it wasn't a great end to the season, but you've said to you know what, we're going to come back and we're going to come back big. I mean, Declan Rice, we'll talk about that. Kai Havertz, Caicedo, maybe a defender as well. If you could pick the one out of all those, so Caicedo, Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, you only can get one. What one are you taking?
Declan Rice.
Good answer.
Correct answer.
Good answer.
Oh,
good
my
answer.
goodness.
Caicedo can play two positions.
Yeah.
Kai Havertz can play like 5.
Well, we'll get onto this. I don't know what his best position is.
Not very well, but can play 5. Declan Rice, yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
For the last 18 months, he's been extraordinary. And I think Arsenal, to the next step, we lack sometimes a little bit of athleticism in midfield, a little bit of like energy. I know when Thomas Partey's not playing, you can really notice it. And actually, when Xhaka and Partey not playing, it's a little bit different, that midfield. And we just need someone that can carry that ball 10, 20 yards. You see the goal he scored in the Europa Conference League. You know, we need something like that from midfield. And he's a very good, very, very good player. And he's got loads of experience. He's 24. He's coming into the best time of his career. And obviously you have to pay a little bit more because that English tax that comes about with players. But I've ever since Arsenal been interested in him, I've watched him a hell of a lot, and he is fantastic.
Yeah, he plays for any team in the Premier League. Starts for any team in the Premier League. Even the Man City team, and I know a lot of Man City fans will maybe jump in the comment section and say maybe not Man City. He'll find his way into that 11 as well. I think he can do anything. I don't even think he's been unlocked yet. I think there's more.
Exactly.
I think goals are going to come.
Yeah, and he said that in his interview. He wants to get goals. And I think in this Arsenal team, with this midfield, with Mikel's way of pressing in this 2-3-5 formation, when you're really high up there, he's going to get opportunities. You saw that when we played them. You know, we were dilly-dallying on the edge of the box. Who's the one there? Declan Rice snaps in, wins the penalty. They're back in the game. He's going to get a lot more of opportunities to be forward in that team. And I think he's going to be a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant signing. But I was going to get onto it. Declan Rice can't just be the only signing. No, we still need room for players.
It's funny, Arsenal didn't spend any money. All of a sudden, they're spending money. All right, let's get to the one of today. Kai Havertz.
Yep.
That again came from nowhere. Everyone's a bit shocked by it. I'm still taking it in myself. Do you want him at Arsenal?
That's a very good question. Do I want him at Arsenal?
So I get paid the big bucks. Those big questions.
Do you know what? Do I want Kai Havertz at Arsenal? I'll say yes. And the reason why I say yes is 2 reasons. Mikel Arteta has got my trust. Edu's got my trust. What they've done in the last 2.5 seasons of windows has been brilliant. They've built a team from absolutely nothing. And as you see now, it went toe-to-toe with Manchester City this season in the Premier League. And a lot of people have said that the group of players we have aren't established enough to go and win a Premier League title, and Mikel's taken this team as far as he can. Okay, well, if he has then, we'll go and get Declan Rice. Let's go and add some quality to it. Now, for me, I know it sounds quite easy, the transfer window for Arsenal, for me, is quite simple. 4 players, 2 midfielders, a wide, versatile forward, and a defender that can play centre-back and right-back, a versatile defender. Now, me and Arsenal friends and my friends have been talking about who we could get. And Kai Havertz actually fits what we're trying to do. He's a versatile forward. He's completely different to Gabriel Jesus.
Whose place does he take?
This is the interesting one. I think...
Stop stuttering, Luke. Whose place does he take?
He doesn't take anyone's place.
So he doesn't start?
No, he starts, but if he starts, I think he'll be starting more from the right-hand side.
So he starts instead of Saka?
He doesn't start instead of Saka. He starts in different games ahead of Saka.
No.
But he can start against...
Does he make your starting 11?
He doesn't, no. I'll tell you that. He doesn't make the starting 11. But what he will do is he'll give another option. Now, we talk about the transfer windows and we talk about buying players, but sometimes managers have to think of another way, because we've been playing this Zinchenko inverted midfield role for all the season. Players and teams are going to understand that Arsenal keep doing it. So we need to have something new. So I'm trying to work out where Kai Havertz's best position for Arsenal will be right now. And I'm thinking, because of his Leverkusen days when he liked to drift it out to the right-hand side, he may give a different version to Saka. Saka likes to go on the outside. Havertz might want to come into the inside. And then you talk about Moises Caicedo, who can play right-back. That might give Caicedo the licence to bomb on. Rice can see that ball from midfield over that side. And Odegaard can have more room in midfield. And he can start scoring more goals like he did this season. Got 15 goals from midfield. So it's just about freshening up the team.
No, I like it. I like what you're saying, Luke. Sorry, I got to cut across you. I love what you're saying. But there is no way in this world, Arsenal aren't Man City or Paris Saint-Germain. You don't pay 75, 60 million for a player that comes off the bench.
No, but I'm sorry.
You're not that big yet.
I disagree.
No, it doesn't happen. Even when you got Pepe, you tried to play him all the time, just wasn't good enough.
But that, I think money is now irrelevant. No, right. In terms of what Arsenal are trying to build, if you want to beat Manchester City and compete with Manchester City, you're looking at Phil Foden, you're looking at Jack Grealish that sometimes start on the bench. You're looking at Julian Alvarez. I know they pay 15 million for him, but Riyad Mahrez, they paid 60 million for him. They paid 60 million for Laporte. He doesn't get a look in. He's now surplus to requirements. I don't care if this is City. I appreciate it.
Your accountant does.
No,
I get that you don't, but your accountant does. City.
What did you say before we started this conversation? Arsenal spend no money. So if Arsenal haven't spent this money for a long time, and now the Kroenkes are actually invested in the club,
you spent money, but even all the signings that you got in, so Zinchenko that came in, Gabriel Jesus, Ramsey, all starters, Ben White, all starters. Yeah. You don't spend 50, 60 for players to come off the bench.
But they didn't win the league.
I know.
But they didn't win the league. So if they're going to try and win the league, if they're going to manage to eclipse Man City and actually beat them to the race, then they're going to have to change their principles a bit. And signing a player like Kai Havertz, whilst I don't necessarily rate him, and I certainly don't rate him as highly as Arsenal, what they need to do is elevate the entire squad. And the way that you elevate the entire squad is by bringing in a player like Havertz, so that when there is an injury, they're bringing on a player of that quality.
I fully understand that.
Also,
but I'm trying to say,
the thing
is that
well,
Arsenal?
The thing, I think it is becoming them, and this kind of signing would suggest that it is. You've got to remember, if Arsenal season goes as Arsenal fans hope it will go next year, they're in the European Cup. They'll play in excess of 60 games. There'll be games for everyone. There will be plenty of games to go around. So signing a player like Havertz, it is the statement signing that I think Arsenal need to make. I think there's a lot of jeopardy around how good Kai Havertz is, because where you flag his versatility, I will flag the fact that he doesn't really have a position, and it's problematic.
And that becomes on the player, because there's this massive argument. You look at Manchester City, you look at Arsenal, and the reason why these teams, I say Arsenal, people are going to laugh, but been successful this season is because we've had lots of versatility. Get the joke? Because a lot of versatility in positions, but sometimes versatility becomes a little bit more of a detriment. Kai Havertz is a great example, because I don't actually know what his best position is. Sometimes he looks brilliant through the middle, sometimes he looks great off the right hand side, sometimes he likes to drop deep. There's talk about him playing in the number 8 position for Arsenal, which could see him playing in the midfield with Rice, Odegaard, if we do sign Declan Rice, Odegaard and Havertz. But for me, on paper, that looks like out of transition.
See, I don't think he's that player. I don't think he's that player. But the problem that you have as well, if you think about, when I think about Arsenal, when I think about this way that Mikel Arteta likes to play, this sort of effervescent front forward that share out the goals, right? None of those players, all of those players, every single one of those players is better than Kai Havertz at that. So Kai Havertz isn't really bringing any option, because the one thing that he does bring, I think that forward line average is about 5'10", right? The one thing that he could bring would be a different option for Arteta, because height.
And that's what we need.
But he's different. But you say that, but he does score goals for the national side. He's better than 1 in 3 for the German side. I think 35 caps, 13 goals. So he does score goals.
Yeah, but those stats can be very misleading. When you play for a successful country, you're often winning games, aren't you? It's different. A lot of international football, if you're representing England or Germany or Italy, the likelihood of you scoring goals and winning games is increased. And
the same could be argued if he plays for Arsenal, a successful team. Should be scoring goals.
No, I mean, he's been playing for the European Cup winners, and he hasn't been
exactly scores goals for Chelsea.
No, but he hasn't been prolific. And the other thing, if he's going to be deployed by Arsenal as a different option, maybe for Gabriel Jesus, maybe an option to go long because he's tall. Look, I know that he scores goals with his head. I saw a stat that 30% of the goals that he scored for Chelsea were scored with his head. But that is very misleading. It's just that he doesn't score many goals.
Yeah, but also, can we look at it from the other angle that this season, Arsenal had 4 players that scored over 10 goals in the Premier League season? I mean, that's a very good return. I know you don't. I know we say that you need an Erling Haaland.
No. I actually don't. But me and Rory have spoken about this a lot, where we feel like with this Arsenal team, as opposed to Man City, you're not going to get someone that gets you 40, but everyone will get you 15 or 20.
Odegaard's chipping in 15. Martinelli, and if Havertz plays on that left hand side in that 8 pocket, Martinelli could be the closest player to get 20 goals.
Do you not think there's an argument for Havertz going down the middle instead of Gabriel Jesus?
Look, there is a question
clinical
mark.
Enough.
There is, but can you say, but Rory, do you think? Yeah, that's exactly. Do you think Gabriel Jesus or Kai Havertz?
Gabriel Jesus is a lot more ruthless in front of goal than Kai Havertz is one of the most profligate forwards. Like you're lucky when he finishes. Like, if you look at his goal-scoring record, it isn't that. Look, I appreciate that he could do something for Arsenal. I think there is a world in which it could happen.
Do you think he's worth 60 million?
No, I don't think he's worth that. And what I think Chelsea are very fearful of.
What do you think he's worth?
I think Chelsea need to reduce what we are ready to accept for him.
What do you think he's worth?
I think if we got a genuine bid of 50 million, we'd have to accept it.
Rory will drive him.
Yeah, I mean,
to the
I don't rate him. I really don't.
It's an interesting one because I've never really looked at Kai Havertz, and you look at, for example, Arsenal been linked with Mason Mount, haven't we, in recent weeks gone by? And you look at Mason Mount, you can understand where he fits in. You think he might do well. Arteta can get the best out of him. The Kai Havertz one's interesting because I'm looking at it, and there's no real definite position of where he could come in. However, like you say, options.
Yeah,
go in the Champions League,
and he elevates your whole front line.
And we looked back at this season, and the thing I learnt this season is like Mikel Arteta played Takahiro Tomiyasu and William Saliba in a Europa League game against Sporting Lisbon. We didn't know, and we locked out on penalties, but we didn't know that was actually going to help really hinder us going into the running in the Premier League because we lost 2 fullbacks. I know we're talking about defenders, but we can't have that next season. We need options. And what I want by options is not, I'm talking about backups when I say backup to Bukayo Saka. Because let's be honest, a lot of Arsenal fans are really scared and really worried when you say, bench Martinelli, let's have Saka on the bench, let's have Rice on the bench. But we're going to be playing Champions League games. We're going to have that week in February and a week in March, like we always have 10 years ago when we used to go away to Old Trafford, home to Barcelona, FA Cup against Chelsea, and then within the 7 days, your season's finished. And then your 2 players are injured, Fabregas does his hamstring, and then we finish 4th again. It always happened.
And what do you think Kai Havertz can do to help that?
Kai Havertz is going to be on the bench. That he's Premier League proven, he's ready, he's 24 years old. He might come into his peak pack, we don't know. But Mikel Arteta has given me the vote of confidence that what he's done with Saka and Martinelli at this age, and Odegaard and Jesus, what he's brought him in, he can get them playing. There's no reason why he can't get them playing. And one thing I will say about Arsenal and their transfer strategy...
Quickly, got 20 seconds.
Arsenal and Edu haven't brokered a deal yet over 50 million for Ben White. So like you're talking about, to take the next step, let's go above 50. Let's go and get some Premier League players that are ready and proven and have some quality in there. And let's see, because we need to challenge Manchester City. And the only way...
20 seconds is up, Luke. 20 seconds.
Okay.
20 seconds is up. The fastest talker on talkSPORT. All right.